Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ricky. Today I'll be making a vegan trifle. And not just any type of trifle. I'm going to be making a lemon curd and meringue trifle with the Swiss roll. So if you want to see the recipe for the Swiss roll, just go to the link down below and it'll direct you to that video. But for today, we're going to be focusing on the lemon curd and the meringue. I've been meaning to share this recipe for a very long time, but I didn't want to just make a basic lemon meringue pie. I wanted to jazz this up a little bit. So I thought, what better way to do that than making a trifle? This way you can still use those delicious ingredients of the lemon curd and the meringue, but adding a little bit of extra flair. However, if you want to make a basic lemon meringue, this recipe will be exactly the same. The only thing you need to go look for is a base for your lemon meringue, but the curd is the same and the process for making the meringue is all the same. I know this is going to be very old news for a lot of vegans out there, but for many of you may not know that aquafaba is a magical ingredient. It is a great egg substitute, especially for meringues or any type of recipe that involves beating eggs. It works wonders, and the first time I made it, I was just in shock of how this meringue just developed into a normal meringue like anything else. Aquafaba is so easily available. All it is the liquid inside a can of chickpeas. So all you need to do is buy a can of chickpeas, drain it, and make sure you keep that liquid because that's the base of the meringue. And keep the chickpeas aside and add it to whatever recipe you have. Okay, well, let's get to it. Let's get started. Let's get started with the lemon curd. We want to make this fairly early because we want the lemon curd to be cool before we start assembling the trifle. First up, we want the zest of one lemon. So get your best looking lemon and grating it until you get the zest of that lemon. Now you want to squeeze the lemons, and we want about a cup of lemon juice. I have 5 lemons today, and let's hope that's enough. Get yourself a medium-sized pot. Don't turn the stove on quite yet. We want to mix in the ingredients before adding the heat. So the first thing you want to do is throw in the wet ingredients, the milk, the lemon juice, lemon rind, corn flour. Corn flour doesn't like being mixed when it's hot, so it's best to dissolve it in some cold liquid before turning the heat on. Now that that's dissolved quite a bit, you can add in the sugar and the turmeric. The turmeric is for color only. Give that another good stir. It's now time to be patient. We're going to need to whisk this for about 10 minutes and make sure it's on a low heat. We don't want to burn or curdle the mixture. Just when it feels like nothing's happening, all of a sudden it starts becoming this nice, thick consistency. Exactly what you want for a lemon curd. I know what's going to happen. This is going to thicken even further when it cools, so I don't want it to be too thick. I've added about half a cup of oat milk just to make sure that it doesn't stay too thick. Probably add a little bit more there. I've just turned the stove off and I'm happy with this consistency. It does seem like it's a bit runny, but what's going to happen when it cools is going to harden even further. And we don't want it to be too hard because we still want to be able to pour this into our trifle. Remove it from the stove, add a good heaped tablespoon of vegan butter or margarine. Give that a whisk. This will stop the cooking process and also help cool this down. Oh my God. Once the butter is melted, I'm going to transfer this into a separate bowl and allow this to cool even further. I want this to be either at room temperature or completely cold. While that cools down, let me go clean and then start with the meringue. If you open up a can of chickpeas and you want to reserve the liquid for a later date, just add it to a little container and place it in the freezer and it will work just fine. To the stand mixer, add in the aquafaba. Add in cream of tartar plus xanthan gum. The only reason the cream of tartar and the xanthan gum are added to this recipe is because if this meringue is left without it, it starts to run a little bit and also lose a bit of volume. So for better results, it's best to use these two little ingredients just to ensure that the structure of the meringue stays in place and also to prevent that liquid from running. Mix everything until it's nice and frothy on a low setting and then increase it to a medium-high. Once the mixture starts to look like this and it's all white, start adding the sugar 1 tablespoon at a time. At this point, let's add in the vanilla extract. Mix this for another minute just so that's well incorporated and we are done with the meringue. And just like that, we created magic. Look at that. You'd think this was made from eggs, but no, chickpea. It tastes just like meringue. There's no hints of chickpea whatsoever. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's marshmallowy. It's perfect. This is just incredible. I mean, why use eggs when you can use this? It does the same thing. The next step is to assemble the whole thing. We'll be piping the meringue on top of the trifle. So for the trifle today, I'll be adding them into these glass containers. I do have 2, I'm not sure if I'll have enough. If not, 1 will be fine. The Swiss roll was a little bit of a fail. So what we're gonna do is at the bottom of this layer, a little bit of the cake. At this point, pour in the alcohol if you're going to be using that. Next, I'm going to dollop some of this lemon curd mixture into it. So let's add in good dollops of cream. Start piping the top of this and start from the edges. With the leftover meringue, just pipe it onto an oven-proof dish and evenly distribute it. Place it in the oven at 180 degrees for about 10 minutes. This will allow it to become golden brown. Wow. Like toasted marshmallows. Toasted marshmallows. The lemon trifle is ready, and there it is. So I completely forgot to put this vegan jelly that I made yesterday and some fresh fruit into it. Vegan jelly is nice. Sometimes you forget stuff, okay? I think it might look better without the jelly anyways. The fruit would have been a nice touch to see strawberries and they would have been good. But anyways, I completely forgot. So I'm gonna have a scoop and I'm gonna try to get every single layer in one scoop. There it is. The dessert is delicious. The lemon curd is full of zestiness and flavor. The meringue is nice and sweet and the cream balances out the sweetness of both of them. The cake is also good, but did it really do anything for this dessert? Probably not. So I just recommend us doing a traditional lemon meringue pie and use the exact same method that I used today and you'll be fine. Even though I tried to make a trifle, this really is just a lemon meringue with a cake base. But it is delicious. Lemon meringue is divine. So thank you for tuning in. This dessert is delicious and it's a winner. Of course, just make a freaking lemon meringue. This whole trifle business didn't really work, but try it. Till next time, bye.